Is it cold out there? Or is it just me? Well, welcome to the 2025 Enjoyurbles, where we celebrate the most enjoyable achievements of the year. Oh. Something I always like to mention is that when we're discussing awards and achievements is that once a nominee wins, they are no longer eligible for the highlight show. So, for example, every year we always give out this award, which is the most enjoyable viewer of 2025. And for the 39th year in a row, which is a streak that even the Undertaker would be jealous of, the most enjoyable viewer of the year is you. Congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back, and no matter how bad things get in 2026, just always remind yourself that you are an award-winning viewer and human being, just in general. Now, that being said, because you have won this award, you must remember that you're not going to be highlighted for the rest of the award ceremony. And I am specifically thinking of you complaining that you were not eligible for Best TV Show of the Year a couple years ago. Very, very selfish of you. Very bad. All right, getting that out of the way. Now we've got awards in gaming, sports, music, movies, podcasting, streaming, journalism. Some highlights in there for those ones, in this order, because I know everybody loves podcasting awards, so we've put it at the back. Just so you have to wait. Hopefully, don't click to the end. Don't skip the sports and games, folks. Okay, the first award is the Enjoyable Game of the Year, which is honestly it's Expedition 33. Much like pretty much everyone else on the planet. I have to say that for me, I'm a big fan of classic 90s and 2000s RPGs. And the marketing for it, I did not think looked that great. I happened to have Game Pass at the time, and the reviews just kind of kept going on and on about how good it was. And once I started playing it, I was like, oh. I was Danny DeVito. I was like, I get it now. I want to highlight a lot here. Andy Serkis, Charlie Cox, Ben Starr, Jennifer English, Kirstie Ryder, Shayla Nix, Rich Keeble, Maxence Cazzola. Writing is Jennifer Svedberg-Yen, Guillermo Brooks, Victor Deliard. Music was Lorien Testard, Alice Porcier. Pretty much everybody I just mentioned did incredible work, even though I got some of their names wrong. Music in particular was outstanding. And the Jennifer seemingly was like the main catalyst of this story. Everyone has different opinions. I thought it was fantastic. It's worth talking about it, discussing at some point in time, but I'll just kind of get out of the way that, much like many other people, I was like, it wasn't it was designed to get you talking. So I liked it a lot. So with that out of the way, with that one out of the way, I also want to highlight DK Bonanza as the most enjoyable family game of the year. Donkey Kong, just wins, just a winner. If you happen to have a Switch 2, which I don't, absolutely it's worth playing. But if you're like, I've heard so many good things that I'm comfortable giving it the one. Controversy over me not playing it. Get me a Switch 2 and DK Bonanza. We'll talk about it. Other great games: Hades 2, Death Stranding 2, Silksong, and The Blueprints. Yes, those are all incredibly great games. If there's any more you want to mention below in the comments section, you are more than welcome to. Actually, everything that you think is good, mention every good thing ever in the comments section. Just free reign. All right, the next award is, I want to highlight the most underrated voice actor in a video game this year. It's a complicated award because it's very hard to recommend this game. It's Mind's Eye, and the voice actor is Alex Hernandez. And part of the thing about being able to mention your own awards is you get to be like, hey, this guy's doing a really good job with stuff. It just happens to be in a project that I can't necessarily recommend you play. But if you check out Let's Plays or Lives or anything like that, he's a solid worker. He's a good actor. Alex Hernandez. Enjoyable, underrated VA of the year. Congratulations. Next up is the Streamer in a Video Game Award, which is, of course, have to throw it in there. They're all in dispatch. Charizard, Jacksepticeye Guy, and Moist Critical. This gentleman it's Moist Critical, which is cheating because, this guy has a Hollywood upbringing. He starred in the Hunger Games, and so it's just unfair. Hopefully in the coming years that more streamers get that experience. I know Charizard acted in one of the VHSs, which is great. She did a very good job. But when Hollywood calls, they call for Moist Critical. All right. Technically, if all you're here for is me to talk about games, ask me about other games and I will talk about them in future videos, but that actually is the end of the games I want to highlight. Now I want to mention the 2 most enjoyable sports awards. The first is the most surprising athlete of the year. I'm a little biased because I am a fan of this team and have been for a very long time, but I also would have a very, very hard time with anyone arguing that Mr. Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh himself, was the most surprising athlete of the year. 60 home runs, most home runs for a catcher, switch hitter, most home runs for a Big Dumper. The Mariners went the furthest they've ever went in the playoffs. I do think playoff-wise people thought that they would get there, but no one thought they would get there not solely on the back of Cal Raleigh, because I want to highlight Jorge Polanco. Why am I forgetting Josh Naylor? I forgot his first name. I knew Naylor, but those gentlemen, all the pitching staff, very, very good across the board. Getting that one out of the way, I want to mention the most enjoyable athlete of the year. And I will casually say he doesn't count. Ichiro getting into the Hall of Fame was a great, enjoyable moment. Phillip Rivers coming back was enjoyable. Tyler Show improving over the year was very enjoyable. And Bijan Robinson, he's been incredible. And I'm mentioning Bijan because the person I am picking, well, actually, I'll mention Calais Campbell too. Older gentleman who's been outperforming expectations for the last 2 years, which leads me to the most enjoyable athlete. Controversial, probably. I say Derrick Henry. The last 2 years, I have no idea. I will say this. I figured he'd still be at least a 1,000-yard guy, but he's on pace for another 1,500-yard season, 2 years in a row. He is kind of breaking the narrative of analytics in terms of people saying, oh, well, he's going to drop off, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's a very good thing, because a reminder about analytics is sometimes they get stuff wrong. So that is a big reason I find the Derrick Henry journey, especially, he pulled it off the last couple of weeks. His journey, it's biased, it's the most recent. But yeah, Derrick Henry, congratulations on the Most Enjoyable Achievement Award. Next to your Future Hall of Fame Award. Gotta be a big deal. All right. We have one award for Most Enjoyable Musician, and this is another award that is probably not too surprising to people. She's a huge global superstar who with her latest album and her name just across everything has managed to achieve what few dream of. Setting up her own tour, huge, big deal. The winner of the Enjoyable Musician Award is, of course, Hayley Williams. She has a tour coming up in 2026. She's already released her album, and she's been doing interviews. She's been doing a great job. Obviously, arguably the top female musician, if not musician, period, of the year. Really can't think of too many others. So Hayley Williams, enjoy your Enjoyable Musician of the Year. And on that note, if you've got this far, inexplicably, I'd like you to tell me what you think the most enjoyable musician, most enjoyable song, and most enjoyable album are. This is like a viewer interactive show, if you didn't know. I hope I gave that away. All right. Next up is the most enjoyable book. reviewer guy on YouTube and Patreon. And that goes to Man Carrying Thing. Rumor has it that he is starting a book club in 2026 on his Patreon. And I would say if you hop on his Patreon and you join his book club, I bet you he'd tell you what the most enjoyable books are of 2025. And I bet you he'd have a very, very good list. So congratulations to Man Carrying Thing for that award. Next up is the movie section. I'm going to get serious-ish here. I'm going to mention When Harry Met Sally, This Is Spinal Tap, A Few Good Men, Misery, Princess Bride, Stand By Me, and his work on New Girl. All of those movies are, and his acting in that TV show, I consider all of those 4 to 5 stars. Like, absolutely at any given time, if you choose to watch any of those. I'm talking about Rob Reiner, who passed away. But if you happen to just be a random youth, just kind of, sympathy for him and his family. But that is a very, that is somebody with a legacy, a huge legacy. Okay. So yeah, all of those, everything, by all accounts, a wonderful man as well. So him and his wife, by all accounts, was very loving. They were very loving and compassionate. Break. This is where I'd put a break in. Maybe I'll put a break here. But yeah. So we're getting into the movies. I want to talk about the most enjoyable actor of 2025, and I think this is one that probably going to spark debate and be controversial. I do want to point out that the rule is when you highlight one thing, you don't want to highlight anything else, and the movies and actors I'm listing are all in great movies, vice versa. The orders could definitely be much, much different, and I would probably argue this might be the most enjoyable movie of 2025 as well. But David Corenswet as Superman, I know people aren't going to be happy about that, at least some people, but he was incredibly emotional. And again, it's like there's people who don't like that, but you see a person with all the superpower in the world struggling. Like, this is basically like one bad day in Batman, but it's like one bad week in Superman. It's his worst week of the year, and so you see him very, very emotional and struggling, and the acting itself, I thought it was incredible. I won't lie. David Corenswet, you can come and accept the Enjoyable Actor Award anytime. You bring your dog too. Okay. Well, the Most Enjoyable Actress Award is actually much not really similar. I picked Rose Byrne from If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which is just this massive, massive anxiety-inducing film, and her character has to struggle throughout it. Completely different type of struggle, very psychological movie. Enjoyable in the sense that, you get very, very impressed by her work. On that note, I also want to mention that massively anxiety-driven movie would be Marty Supreme. Marty is almost the anti-Superman, where he keeps going forward, but his moral character is very, very questionable. So I will mention that. Good job, Marty, or as I like to call him, Martin Supreme. Next up, for the most horrible movie, which is a movie in the horror genre, Sinners, with Ryan Coogler. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, Ryan Coogler. Don't be mad at me. You are a genius, and you do incredible work. I love this movie. I thought that, like, the biggest thing is I kind of, the ending itself, and it's hard with a lot of horror movies, the ending itself, like, not the end, but there's some parts where I'm like, oh, I would have liked a little bit different. But in terms of vibes, it's like a 80s, 90s horror movie. This movie could have been shot 10, 20, 30 years ago, and it would have been excellent. And it's going to be a timeless movie. I genuinely believe people will be watching and appreciating it for decades. It's good. It's well shot. The guy knows his stuff. So congratulations to Sinners for the most horrible movie award. Okay. This next one, Most Enjoyable Action and Sci-Fi Award, goes to Predator Badlands. But honestly, a buddy cop movie that feels very much also in the vein of 80s, 90s movie. Very, obviously not on the technical level possibly of the other movies on the list, but just a very fun movie. I liked it. Check it out. Next up is the Most Enjoyable TV show, Andor Season 2. I honestly forgot. It was at the beginning of the year, so like looking over things to be like, what was the best? You know, I was like, obviously Witcher 4, obviously, but then I was like, oh snap, Andor Season 2, the Skarsgård moments. You know, I mean other moments too, but I mean if you get a Skarsgård going, it's hard to stop that train. So if you have not seen Andor and you get the chance, definitely check it out. A few more highlights. Most Enjoyable Anime went to Dan. Again, something with just great vibes overall. I do think Solo Leveling and the Apothecary Diaries were very solid, but there's something about Dan that like I have very mixed feelings about, because it's almost too much, and I think some people might agree, but there is it's just vibes. You know, like honestly the intro, not this season's but last season's intro, is I'm like that, like I love the way animation, Japanime, I love the way their intros are. They have so much fun with it. Video game adaptation, Anthony Mackie, Anthony Kerrigan, Anthony Joe, I think that's Samoa's first name. Incredible work. Twisted Metal, I think I probably like the first season more, but honestly, it's just a fun and interesting show, especially for the fact that it's a game adaptation from a game that's basically only blowing people up, so they have to expand it themselves. Just super fun. That's all. Most enjoyable foreign film, No Other Choice. There's a few moments. Overall, greatly acted. There's also just a few like film moments in it. Like there's particularly like a scene with like a mobile device, and he does some really interesting things with that in terms of shot technique. Like kind of like a director's favorite director, you know? Just yes. I like going back. There's probably some like foreign films overall over the years that I liked more, but this year I think that's a good one to highlight. I think most people agree. And then the most enjoyable movie of the year, like I said, Superman Sinners. Wouldn't put Badlands quite there, but in terms of fun, it was good. But like Superman, Sinners, and One Battle After Another are probably the three to me where I was like, these are all really, really good movies, and you could put them anywhere and argue acting, cast, directing, cinematography, etc. You could be like, these are awesome. Benicio del Toro is in this movie, so it wins. I compare it to like a Burn After Reading action movie, where it's just more driven. So yeah, huge fan. All right, now we get to the big ones, the big dogs, what everybody was waiting for. Only reason you stuck by is to hear me mention some streamers, journalists, and podcasts. Philip DeFranco, Mortismo Gaming, and Regular Eye Patch Wolf. That's so clever. I wonder who came up with that. The three highlighted streamers I wanted to mention. S'more News, I believe is the name. I think it's like a camping YouTube. I think that's a good one. We've talked about them previously over the years. It's very, very good. And highlighted journalist I wanted to mention was Gene Park. Good talks about Expedition 33. And I believe, if I'm remembering right, some Yakuza moments. May not have been this year, but I'll give it to him anyways. Good guy. Pretty friendly over Twitter. I don't personally know him. I just tweet to him and he doesn't beat me up, so that's nice. Enjoyable episode of the year for podcasts. I would say it's titled Doug Quit YouTube. It's by the Lemonade Stand Boys. And I have this as the episode of the year because it's kind of, they talk about why YouTubers quit, why streamers quit, etc., why they're all kind of like burnout, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, more importantly, they talk about the things they learned over the course of their podcast, where they talked about economics and everything else. And I think that's just kind of like a recap of their year, which maybe a recap is cheating, but I don't think so because it's my awards. So I would recommend that. They had takeaways. They talked about money and power in politics and economics. It was a very good episode. So yeah, good job, guys. Atriok, Aiden, and Doug. Congratulations on the most enjoyable episode of the year. Huge. Up next, and the final award we're highlighting is Podcast of the Year, which, this is what everybody was waiting for. Whether it was his work talking about the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard, whether it was his talks with Mina Kimes, Katie Nolan, Maury Povich, Connie Chung, or more importantly, what cemented this award was Pablo Torre finds out about Cletus. Just a gentleman, a fan, and a caller. And those couple of minutes with Cletus, if you've seen those, Pablo Torre finds out. So congratulations to Pablo Torre on the most enjoyable podcast of the year. I haven't clapped like the whole time. Whoops. And in closing, in the finale, what was the most enjoyable moment of 2025? How about you tell me?